Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about how to invest in a time like this where coronavirus is so rampant among all the different societies in the world. Today we will talk about which asset classes that you need to invest your money in. Is it going to be stocks, bonds, property? Which asset class will be a good place to put your money lah. So and then we're going to explore on industries. Which industry will benefit? Is it going to be banks, property again, maybe even healthcare, right? So I want to basically take a look back in history. So when you look at all the previous depressions, all the previous recessions, which are the asset classes that usually have done very, very well? The first answer will obviously be stocks, right? Stocks have always done well after a recession when you ride the recovery. So the chart will go like this, it will be a deep, steep drop, and then it will be a very slow increase, very, very slow over many, many years, but it will eventually surpass the previous peak before a recession or before depression. Although I'm not going to say that this is going to happen very quickly, it's going to take a long time. But if you close your money and buy stocks after a recession, when you found the right bottom, then usually you are able to make a lot of money lah, right? So you look at the history of stock market crashes, right? Something interesting for you to know. The crash of the tech bubble, tech bubble 2000. Okay, there was a tech bubble. All the publicly listed companies in tech had a big crash. So the bare return was negative 50%. Right, and this happened in 30 months. So in 30 months the stock market dropped 50%, the overall stock market lah. And then after that, the next when it recovered, it returned 101% from the lowest point, and this 101% took 60 months. So you lose your money in 30 months, so you lose your money over 2 years, and then over the next 60 months is about 5 years. Over 5 years, you already make double your money. Double of what you would make if you bought at the bottom of this lah. So net, if you invested your money 30 plus 60 months, that's like 90 months, that's around 8 years. So in 8 years, you would have made 50% return, right? 50% return over 8 years, 50 divided by 8, that's about 6% a year lah. Okay, which is okay lah. Isn't that great. So usually you have to find out the bottom. So the key thing that you have to find is you have to invest in bottom. And second thing you have to know is hold as long as you can. Don't look at the stock market, just hold as long as you can. So if you bought it at negative 50%, you already doubled your money. If you bought it before, if you bought it at the start and then you dropped 50%, then it went up 100%, you made 50%. So it's half of what you could potentially make. So you must try to invest in the bottom. Okay, so I can't really say how exactly you want to invest if you want to keep looking for a bottom, which is going to be very, very difficult. But one thing that people always look for is when you think that the selling has happened so quickly and so fast before people could actually take their time to really check the market to understand what's happening. So that's just generally how people make money during a recession. So now, So I talked about stocks. If you want to make the most money, I think stocks will be a good place to start. Which stocks and all that, I will explain more later. Then you can go a bit more deeper. Now, if you want to look at bonds, bonds is basically debt. Debt that companies or governments issue. They want to borrow money, they ask you to give them money, and they tell you that they will pay you an interest. Pay interest usually is called a coupon rate. Usually bonds are very very safe investments because it's usually it's given to companies that can pay back, given to countries that can pay back. So the coupon rate, let's say, is only like 4%, no? Right? 4% every year, which that's the average lah, I would say. So actually now it's decreasing a lot already, and coupon rate is usually correlated to the interest rate. And you can tell already people have been cutting the interest rate. Countries and governments have been cutting interest rates. Cutting interest rates non-stop. Is down, down, down. And the coupon rate also has gone down, down, down. So it's very hard to earn a steady interest when you buy bonds as well. Right? The way you can buy bonds and make money is you have to trade the bonds. You have to buy the bonds, because when the interest rate goes down, when the coupon rate of a bond goes down, the price of bonds go up, right? So if you want to make money that way, you have to buy the bonds, and then as the interest rate drops, the price of the bond goes up, you sell, right? You don't hold it until the maturity, until the end of the debt. You don't hold it hoping that you can earn 4% every year. You hold it until the price of the bond went up enough so you can sell it. So that's a way that you can make money through bonds. You have to trade them. You cannot hold bonds and hope to earn an interest anymore, because it's very very low rates, low interest. So now we're going to look at property. So I've released a video to a lot of controversy. I think it's quite a lot of views. I think about 2,000 plus views. Not a lot lah, but for me it's a lot lah, because I'm nobody. But I told people not to buy property, and it was very controversial. A lot of people say I didn't know what I was talking about. People were saying that I'm working for some, I don't know, some developer or some shit that's trying to kill other developers' business. I don't know, all kinds of accusations. But like I said, buying a house was not the best thing to do back then. And I think you all can agree, after this coronavirus, my advice was actually correct, right? Because now what we're going to see is property prices are definitely going to get even worse right now, because people who hold on to people who hold on to old properties will definitely go into subsale right now, because they got not enough money to pay off their debt. Now they probably lose their jobs. Now there's a lot of worry that people lose their job. They would go into subsale market, and in subsale market there is no developer that is going to help them maintain prices. In subsale market, the owner can set any price he wants, right? Any price he wants, he can set it. He can say that I want to sell 50% below market. Nobody can stop him. People will buy. People will rush to buy his house, because he's willing to sell the house at a loss or sell at a break even, so that he can get rid of the loan. He can get rid of the liability that he has every month to pay the house loan, right? Because he's not employed anymore, for example. He has to take some time to find another job. So I think my advice is correct, and now subsale market is going to have a lot of discounts. So will that change my view whether you should actually go and buy a property now if you have the cash? It depends. So I would say, if you want to look for a house now, if you want to invest in a house now, number one, do not buy primary market. As in, do not buy developer homes or houses or whatever lah. Don't buy, because they will try to maintain price at the high level, because they are desperate to sell their house as well to pay off their loans. For example, when I say subsale up here, I'm talking about individual owners. When I'm talking about primary market, I'm talking about developers. They have balance sheet to maintain their prices at this level. They have balance sheet to help tahan for a long time. But they also eventually, my prediction is that they will have to drop prices for their primary for their houses because they have to pay back their loans, and developers also have a lot of loans, right? They have to pay back their loans also. Corporates also have loans. So eventually they will have to drop prices, but they will have a longer time to maintain house prices for now because they have a bigger balance sheet, they can tahan longer. But people who cannot tahan longer are the individuals, the one that cannot afford to buy a house, or you cannot afford to maintain a house, to pay the loan installment every month. They are out of job, they will have to sell the houses. So you want to buy a house, don't buy primary market. Okay, that's very, very important. Don't buy the primary market, buy secondary market, which is sub-sale, individuals that are looking to sell the house. So okay, now the second thing, what do you need to think of if you want to buy a house in the sub-sale market? In the sub-sale market, the second thing you need to understand is you have to make sure that you are able to put big down payment down. Put big DP. That's very important. Put at least 15 to 20% down. Okay, if you can. I would advise, for me, the best way is to put 15% down payment, and then for another 5% you keep for your lawyer fees and all that stuff lah. Alright, so at least 20%. If you have 20% of the house price down in cash, go in, buy. Okay, if you can buy. That's so don't go primary market, go secondary market. Number one. Number two, put a big down payment. But number one and number two will not be relevant if you don't have number three. Number three is very, very important. This house price has to be at least, for me, at least 50% lower than market. Everyone will say, wow, how are you going to find 50% lower than market? That's like half the price of the current price, blah blah blah. Trust me, in the coronavirus situation now, people are really, really desperate. It's a desperate time. You can see the government is trying to pump up a lot of stimulus to help people, to help to help businesses stay afloat. It's very difficult to survive right now, but if you have cash, you can take advantage of this. Okay, you can definitely take advantage. So 50% below market price. So the way to find out about this is that, let's say you go to iProperty, you go look at houses. Call the agent, say I can bid for this house but not at this price. And the way you want to negotiate, you have to say that I can close fast. That's what everyone wants to know. I say I can bid 50% below your current price, but I can close the deal super fast. I can give you the cash tomorrow. That's when people will look at their value, look at their house and see, do I really need the money? Why don't I just get rid of the house? I'm willing to sell it at break even. Maybe they bought it 50% lower than the market price before the coronavirus. Now they just said, screw it, I really cannot tahan already, I need to get out. So tell them you can close fast, you have cash. You have to buy at least 50% below market. Okay, and that's how you can invest, and that's how you can really make a lot of money when you buy a property then. Because at 50% below market, when things recover, you will definitely go back 50% up. You already make 50% increase in your value of the house. You're 50% richer already. And after that, like I said earlier in the previous point, after a recession, usually the asset prices will go up and up and up over 8 years or whatever. You stay in that house, you won't even realize. Eventually, you'll be making double your money or what you paid. Your house will be valued at double. So make sure that you take this advantage in this desperate time to really find for bargains, really find for market prices, house prices that are way below market before the COVID-19 pandemic.